You are now tuned in to Elizabeth Bergeland and Courtney on Jam Hot Radio.
Hi guys, welcome. I am so happy to be here today with Elizabeth Bergeland in her studio here in Philadelphia. Hi, how are you?
Hi, great.
Thank you for having us today. I'm so excited to chat with you about your beautiful artwork and your upcoming book. Before we dive in, I did want to ask a question I ask everyone. It's usually the hardest one, and that's an album that everyone should have in their collection. One or a few.
So tough. I would have to narrow it down to Neutral Milk Hotel, Airplane Over There.
Okay, that's a great one.
Yeah, it's a good, it's been with me for a lot of transitional moments, so it's got to be,
Yeah, I feel like that's an album. I love albums that I can listen to in different areas of my life, whether it be, like you said, like when you evolve, but also like if I'm cleaning my house or if I'm going on a drive or like,
Right, and I think he cut that album like in one take, which somehow feels really powerful to me.
So
it's
special.
He's like, we're going for it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Good, that's awesome. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about your new book that's coming out in May, The Great Whipplethorpe
Bug Collection.
Bug.
Yes.
Bug Collection, yes. Yeah, tell me about that and how you guys were able to put this together and the storyline and how you're able to make it easily digestible for children to talk about such big topics.
So, this story, it's near and dear to both me and my writing partner's heart. I think, we are a duo. We always work together. That both our books have come together. We work in what we've come to learn is a unique way, like the story evolves together. So sometimes I'll send him the illustration first, and then he'll write from that.
Oh, cool.
Or he'll send it to me, and he's like, can you draw from here?
Yeah.
So, oftentimes writer, illustrator partners, like maybe the whole book will be finished and then they'll pass it off to the illustrator. Right. So it's really cool to be able to build the book together.
Yeah, it's definitely a real collaborative effort.
Yeah, and I get to draw the things that he doesn't say, and he'll say the things that I don't draw. So you get this comedic timing in the book. But this book in particular is actually, I would say it's very much my writing partner, his name is Ben Brashears, his story. We were both actually stay-at-home parents, and we each, had our 3 small children at the time. And we were living in a more suburban area where, I live in Philadelphia, and it's pretty typical to see about 50-50 in terms of stay-at-home dad versus stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. But where we were at, he was kind of like the only one.
Yeah.
But was super intentional about that choice and really wanted to have a big presence in his kid's life. His father, who he's extremely close with, was just not always around, which was kind of like of the time.
Right.
So he's the story. It's a father-son story, and kind of redefining what it means to be a good man or like a great man. And he's home with his kid. He kind of, he seems like he probably works a little, but he's at home and he's present, and that's the adventure that he's choosing. Mm-hmm. And so then for me, my heart that's being brought into it, this is the little boy is definitely mused after my son, who is constantly dragging bugs in the house and building little box houses for them. Right. And so those kind of, that's where the book emerges for the two of us.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Cool. So how long have you been creating art, and what is your favorite medium to work in, do you feel?
Well, creating art since always, right? Which I think most people have. Some people stop.
Yeah.
I did go to school for art. I went to University of Colorado. I got a BFA in painting, and I also double majored with anthropology. Okay. I had actually worked as a designer in bridal for years. I got out of school, just kind of needed a job. Mm-hmm. And then, really hit the wall and was like, I'm losing it. It was always my dream to be an artist, be a career artist. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it's now or never.
Right.
And so I had kind of built up enough commissions to be able to take the leap out of the work that I was doing and start this full time. And the children's books were obviously like a big contributor to being able to do this.
Right.
I love illustrating. It's great for me to, I can knock out a piece in a day. You know, they're very like journalistic. They're kind of like my thoughts or observations from the day. But I would say oil painting, oil on canvas is really my favorite. I mean, each piece, I'm working really large right now, and each one of these pieces takes a couple months.
Right,
you know, I'll pour like 300 to 400 hours in a single piece. And feels like anything, like it's a higher risk sort of medium, in just in terms of time committed to one piece, but the reward feels higher I think, because of that. So
and they're so detailed. The fine lines, and you can see all of the hairs on your subject. And it's really awesome. So what is to come for you in 2021? What else do you see for yourself as an artist and beyond?
So I'll be pretty busy the next, at least through the summer and early fall, with book launch stuff. There'll be the book is officially on shelves May 11th. We have a launch event with Books of Wonder in New York City. That's May 22nd, and it should be virtual, so I think everyone should be able to join, which is going to be cool.
That's great.
And then we'll have I'll have various readings and not full book tour, but who knows?
Right.
We're just gonna go as much of a book tour as we can.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna be painting like crazy.
Yeah. So can you touch a little bit on what you said you're studying right now?
Yeah. So I am studying men. This project, it was very much launched from just observations I've made about my son and even just my husband. I've been married for about 16 years now. And my son, he hit 10, and he's definitely like our most affectionate. I've got 3 kids. And always been, affectionate, gift giver, kind of touchy kid. And it would have been about 2 years ago now. We were hitting holiday break, and all the kids had brought their gifts to exchange with their friends, and he went up to bring them to his friends and suddenly panicked and was like, he came back to me and handed them back to me. He's like, I can't do this, they're gonna make fun of me. And I was like, what? And you could see that he's this social input of how boys are meant to behave.
I know.
He was absorbing
crazy. And at such a young age. What they absorb now is.
I know.
And with the internet too, that's just like an added layer.
I know. And me thinking we had built this kind of utopia at home where it was like safe to, there weren't gendered colors. There weren't, I'm like this like modern parent that's like, watch me bucking the system. But it was still happening, he's at school and feels this pressure, and suddenly was like, didn't want to cry around his friends, didn't want to, and I'm like, what is going on? It's like this masculinity, it's this water that like we're all swimming in, and like obviously, it's been brought to the forefront over the last several years with the Me Too movement. And, these kind of cliche challenges I have communicating even with my husband sometimes, the level of emotional expression that's allowed, I think is very limited for men. So I think, admittedly, I went into this project a little bit angry, like this kind of feminist in me is like, what is it with men? And like women are always, myself included, women are almost always depicted in paintings. I had like up to this point like basically only been painting women, and I finally like stopped myself and I was like, why?
Yeah.
Let's put men in the canvas. Let's see what happens. And I think, admittedly, initially it felt a little bit like, I'm gonna put you there. And it was like I'm in control. But what's happened is, I sit with all of my subjects. We do long interviews, and so far I've only worked with men that I'm close with. And we do these long interviews and asking like hard questions, like, what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a good man? What's hard about being a man?
Yeah.
And it's totally changed my worldview completely. I in many ways, I'm like, I think as women, I think we have actually more social mobility in terms of like, I can dress feminine, I can dress masculine, I can be home with my child, and while we have all these other challenges in terms of like equality in the workplace, never is our like womanhood challenged based on those choices.
That's true.
Whereas like, you know, even just riffing off my writing partner and where the book came from, it was like, he was constantly being asked like, you know, when are you going back to work? What's your job? And I was never asked that.
Never asked that.
I was never asked that. They were like, you're doing the most important work. I'm like, well, like this gender revolution, this has to happen in tandem.
Yeah,
I'm like, we
really
can't
does.
gain full respect in the workplace until men can gain full respect in the home.
If they want to stay home.
Yeah. And like have that be like a masculine role
as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome. Well, I love that you've incorporated it into a children's book that, you know, can prompt questions or, you know, can get families talking together in such a positive and fun way. I'm really excited to share that one with my family, with my little one too. So awesome. Well, I've enjoyed talking with you today. I can't wait to see the book. Like she said, it will be out on May 11th, and just everything that's to come for you. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.